Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. This is gonna be a real quickie, alright? We're gonna do a comparison video of the Victorinox Civivi Elementum and the Wooland Creek 5-in-1 survival knife, okay? We're gonna test out the blade. Get the main blade here. So we're gonna see which of these knives make opening packages a lot easier. Alright, I normally use the smaller blade of the Victorinox to open packages, but today I'm going to use the full-size blade of this because we're using full-size blades on the other knives. Alright, so let's start with the Civivi Elementum. Alright, we're going to hold it like this and see if it cuts through all the way. That was a little difficult to penetrate. Smooth, buttery, open with no problem. Alright, now let's do this Victorinox. Went in stabbed in a little smoother. Ooh, that's a little disappointing. That did not go well. Oh, let's do it again. Yeah. Let's do the Civivi. Puncturing in is a little harder. I don't know why, but then cutting through. Let's do the Victorinox again. A little better. Now let's do the $14 5-in-1 Wooland Creek survival knife. Alright, now this is partially serrated, so I'm going to just use the part that is not serrated to open the package. Ooh, it went in the smoothest. It got caught on the serration a little bit. Well, let's try that again. Let me take out the contents. This is just... Alright, let's do it again. Alright. Ooh, that's smooth. Oh, let's try the smaller blade. For some reason, the larger blade is not as smooth cutting as the smaller blade for the Victorinox. Let's do the Civivi. I'm gonna tell you guys, the winner in puncture, stab, and slice and cut of this plastic here is gonna be the Wooland Creek 5-in-1 survival knife. Believe it or not. The only reason it stops cutting because when the cut catches the serration, of course it's gonna stop. But when it's just on the tip here where the blade is, it just cuts smooth. Alright, let's do the Civivi the same way. Civivi. Yeah, I'm really surprised this Wooland Creek's 5-in-1 $14 5-in-1 blade, the tip that's not serrated, uh, slices through very smoothly, and also punctures through this with no effort. It just goes straight. I mean, it just goes right through, no, like butter. And I get it is the sharpest point of the three. I have to admit, the Civivi doesn't. Well, the Civivi's very sharp too. It has a very sharp point too. So there's no excuse for it not to puncture right through. But it takes a lot more effort, and also it creates a bigger hole, messier hole. Here, this one here just effortlessly just pokes right through, and there's no messy hole. It's like a clean, you know, cut. And same with the Victorinox, it's harder to puncture through. I mean, let's face it, it's not a fixed blade knife. I mean, and it's not a locking blade, so you should never stab with it because it will fold on you, and you will cut your finger off. Okay, so it's never meant to be used as a stabbing weapon. Okay, or for any kind of stabbing uh, implementation. It's always just used for slicing and cutting. Okay, so remember that when you're using a pocket knife that does not lock. Okay, but anyway, like I said, the winner in this round for opening packages, cutting plastic open, as long as you're not using the serrated part, because if you catch the serrated part, yeah, it's gonna stop cutting. But if you're just using the tip here, just these last inch and a half worth of blade here, it is smooth. It's cut smooth. It stabs in very easily. Awesome. All right, for $14, yeah, I can definitely use it as a box opener, package opener. I could definitely use it. Maybe have it in the car in case of an emergency. It does have a flashlight. It does have a window breaker. It does have a ferro rod in case you do need some way to. Let's say you get stranded on the road on a winter day in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, and you have to start a fire somehow, and you don't have a lighter in the car. You don't have no matches. So having a ferro rod is definitely a good thing to have. Um, Also, a seatbelt cutter here to get yourself out of a jam. Um, let's face it, you get into a wreck, a lot of the times seatbelts don't work right. The latches and the buttons and the buckle and everything might be damaged, and you can't get out of your seat. You have to cut your way out. And also, let's face it, we are in an era of almost 99.9% of all of our cars are power windows. And if you get into a wreck, okay, and your electric doors and locks and all that don't work, and your windows are not rolling down because your car's cut off, no power, whatever, and your your doors jam shut, and even if you could unlock it electronically, you can't open it because your doors jam shut. So only way to get out is through your window, and you need to break your window, and breaking a car window is harder than you think it is. So you having a window breaker is very important to have if you're trapped inside of a car. Another scenario is if you go off the road and your car goes into water, a body of water, a deep water, and your car starts to sink, and your car is totally shut off during the collision. Maybe your engine stalled, and your car just completely cuts off, and for some reason your electronics, everything went out. Never know what happens in a car wreck. Your car is just totally disabled, and the water pressure is keeping the door shut, and you can't open the door. Okay, so your car is almost sinking to the point where you know, the water's in the side of your car and everything else, and the only way to get out is break a window. And having something like this might be important to have. All right, so once again, the winner in this round of opening a package like this that's mainly plastic, I give it to this as the better package opener. Second, Civivi Elementum. It did have the hardest time poking through. But once it did poke through, it cut smooth like butter. All right, this kind of has a hard time poking through, but it cut the most jaggedy way. All right, I mean, it just didn't have that smooth buttery cut. So I was a little disappointed. I mean, I thought this Victorinox was razor sharp. It is, in my opinion, razor sharp, and I think it will cut anything you want it to cut, but it definitely did not cut through this. Well, like I said, it just depends on, I guess, I don't know, there's maybe something's up. I don't know, but it feels razor sharp. I mean, to be honest with you, out of these three knives, the Victorinox, if you touch the blade, feels like it's the most razor sharp out of the three. All right? But somehow, this came out on top. All right. Thanks for watching.